that you're not one of those victims we talked about. You can either be prepared or be a victim. It's your choice.
Well, you're right on target here. My next book is called The Infinite Returns. And I was talking to Buckminster Fuller, built the geodesic dome. He says, we are designed to be the architects of the future, not its victim.
Yeah, right.
And so when we come back from this program here, we're going to be talking to George Gammon, like he's one of the hottest guy on social media in the macroeconomics field.
The Rebel Capitalist
Rebel
podcast.
Capitalist show.
The Rebel Capitalist.
But you're my go-to guy when I want to know something. I just scroll through your all your YouTube talks, and if I have a question on something, I just go to you because you'll explain it to me. It's learning about the Cantillon effect and homelessness and what's going on in the macro economy. Listen to this again, you'll learn twice as much, but more importantly, listen to this program with friends, family, and business associates and discuss, and your retention rate, your intelligence will skyrocket. So we're talking to George Gammon. Before we get into what can a person do, where are you going to hide? I mean, George lives in a wheelie that he keeps on board pulls behind it.
What I love about George is
like a stick and what was it? The stick and the little scarf in the back.
But George and I are on our way, and Kim, we're on our way to Jekyll Island. Now, for those who may not know this, but Jekyll Island is where the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank was so-called started in 1913 on Christmas Eve. And Jekyll Island is infamous, and we're going there for the Red Pill Expo. And the reason we're going is one of my heroes is G. Edward Griffin.
Yeah.
He's the author of The Creature from Jekyll Island. And so we're going to what's called the Red Pill Expo, which is starring Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And it's about are you taking the blue pill or the red pill? And most people are on the blue pill. So George and I and Kim will be at Jekyll Island at the Red Pill Expo. If you have a chance to go to it, it's worth going to. It'll blow your mind of what we're not being told.
I think today, too, you can go virtually today to the one coming up this weekend, too. If you can't get there in person, you can watch virtually.
Yeah.
So what's your objective for going to the Red Pill, Griffin?
Well, they wanted me to go out there and speak about the Great Reset. We were talking about with the World Economic Forum's agenda that we were referring to earlier. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about how you can understand what they're doing and leverage that into your own investment portfolio to actually profit from it.
Well, the first time I went to my fourth one I'm going to, the first time I went to it, it said the Red Pill Expo was a white supremacist organization.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, I'm not even white. How could I be here?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's how bad the media is. They don't even know what they're reporting on.
I know. Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to be talking about what can I do? You know, I mean, we're talking about how some guys have a Winnebago mobile home ready to go in their driveway in case they have to move quickly, so they don't want to be like in Portland or in the wildfires of California. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can get out of Dodge now. So what can a person do? Okay.
And George, let me just ask, you have multiple passports.
No, I'm in the process of getting my Colombian passport. So I've got my residency visa.
Okay.
And so it's kind of the same, but I'm in the process of getting them. I still only have one.
Okay.
Yeah, which is not ideal. I'm doing everything I can to make sure that changes.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that Puerto Rican?
No, Puerto Rican's the same passport, believe it or not.
It seems like another.
I heard you're one of the most wanted in Puerto Rico today because you know Schiff.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had a bunch of issues there when I went there last. It got really crazy, that's for sure. They're extremely draconian about this whole process with the virus, and definitely not the type of personal liberty and freedom that I like.
But then you say countries like around Russia who have experienced socialism and worse, they're saying we want nothing to do with this. We want capitalism.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a very anti-free market capitalist tone in the United States, to say the least.
Yeah.
To say the least.
You know, when I say that, people say you don't know what you're talking about. I say, man, I can feel it.
Oh yeah.
I can feel it.
It's a lot different. I mean, even when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, it's just the whole vibe is totally changed. Not just with that, but with everything. And I think those countries that you mentioned, they want nothing to do with it. So although they might be not as free now, I think you have to look at the trajectory of where countries are going.
This is what cracks me up, is that all the people that want socialism, the people coming into the U.S. are running from socialism.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I mean? And Americans will say, hey, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Because they have no idea what it is.
Yeah, they don't. If they had firsthand experience, a great example of that is a lot of people that work for me in Colombia with my real estate business. They're from Venezuela, and they fled Venezuela.
Right.
So I mean, they watch my videos, and they absolutely love them, and they see some of the comments, or they see some of the things I talk about where people are actually promoting these socialist and Marxist ideas, and it actually pisses them off. I mean, they get like angry because of what they experienced in Venezuela and having to flee and leave everything behind. And it really gets them going. That's rightfully so.
So what could somebody do today to prepare versus become a victim?
Well, a lot of things. If we're talking about from a financial standpoint, I think you have to look at commodities because they're extremely cheap right now, historically speaking. If you
Talk
look
about
at
gold and silver right now.
and oil and uranium and copper, things like that, agriculture. If you look at commodities as a whole relative to stocks or financial assets, we're at an all-time low going all the way back to 1900. So that's, again, we like to buy things when they're cheap.
How do you buy commodities? Because Tim and I just buy the physical.
Yeah, you can just buy producers. So as an example, if you've got, coal is another commodity, believe it or not, that I actually like. Funny story about that is I tweeted.
The environmentalists must love you, man, I tell you.
Well, listen, I'm not
Can't
here
please
to.
everybody.
I'm not here to debate that. It's just about.
You're just here to make a buck.
Yeah, it's
George
just,
isn't.
if you want to make money,
George
you
isn't
gotta,
running in a popularity contest.
Yeah, exactly. But a quick trivia question. I think you guys will enjoy this. And I posted this on Twitter the other day. So since 1968, what do you think is the best performing stock in the entire stock market since 1968?
I'm going to guess because of your lead-in, it's going to be coal-based.
No. Altria, tobacco, cigarettes.
Seriously?
That's right. And the best performing sector in the best performing sector in the stock market since the mid-1990s has been tobacco. Most people would never ever know that. So what I'm trying to think through on my own now is if you look at the attitude that everyone's had towards tobacco, since the mid-1990s, it's the exact same thing with coal now. So maybe coal is the new tobacco. And we look at it just from a standpoint of energy, but people forget that coal is a large component of steel. So if you're bullish on the emerging markets developing like China and India did, then you've got to be bullish coal.